All right.
Venturing forth, winding up wherever you entered inside, the world that you belong to now is not maybe a world of your own. Not the world that you've belonged to, maybe not the world that you've ever been to. The world around you is chaotic. It does have its own advantages, however, as the world itself crumbling around, advancing throughout cities, but destroying other places. The other places might not be your neighboring town, your neighboring neighbor, or the very creation of the foundation of the world itself. But the world keeps moving, trudging along. Wherever that brings you, well, it brings you here currently now. The town you reside in, or at least the town that you're currently residing in, is the town of Reeve. A nice, quiet place, but nowhere near any of the turmoil that you know and unfortunately are too familiar with. While it is not your capital of your country, it is a nice place to stay at. None of the catastrophes plague this area, and definitely none of the children move about here. It's far too loud for them to wander the streets without being seen. You do find yourselves in this city in the middle of the day, but for now, we wonder what awaits you next. Entering to town, or perhaps you've been here some time. Dolwyn, entering inside from the east side, you do and were in a small little church area. I don't know if you're very religious, but that place did offer you its place in response to the abilities that you possess. You do have magic, so it's definitely useful.
It's at least appreciated.
Wandering about and learning about them, you do know that they were of the Temple of Tyr. You do know at one time, or at least one point in time, that the god Tyr had died long ago, but was revived. However, this is simple scripture. Whether you believe it or not, it's entirely up to you, but they themselves still consider it as holy and true. More than not, you think about this, and whether if it's true or not, well, it really doesn't matter to you. As long as they're still helping the people around and still providing services, what's one man's belief versus your own? As you're walking along the street, you do encounter some other individual that doesn't seem to belong here, or at least doesn't have the same type of vigor the rest do. Cerberus, you come around the corner and you do walk through it. You were just at a small tavern bar. Not a lot of people ask questions, and not a lot of people care there. Thankfully enough, this is something that you hold present to you. And they don't know your reputation, so that is more than beneficial. Wandering in the streets, you do encounter people that take a close look but never dive too deep. Maybe because you resembled something they might have seen in their nightmares, or someone that they've seen before. Or maybe they just are looking at the stranger that's wandering the streets. As you're coming across this area, you do see another person that they're keeping an eye on. Not for anything that they've done, but simply because they do not fit the same mold that society around you fits. Both of you would likely need to have refilled your water skins, so the easiest well to come to is, well, the easiest thing to go to.
Well met, friend. Excuse my forwardness, but you appear to also be a visitor to these parts.
I take a moment to look over this new sir, and I'll give a nod and tell you, good evening. Indeed, I am traveled. I give a look up and I'll check to see the time of day. Is the time of day radically different than how it was when I first went into the inn?
It is. It's roughly 8 hours afterwards. It's early to midday.
I take a second look, and I'll say, a good midday to you. Apparently, that's no longer. Well, that doesn't matter. I am indeed a traveler from a fair distance, and I just came here to fill my water. Probably having to leave once again. What about yourself?
Uh, the gods, nature, what have you. Their signs have led me here, and so here I am to do whatever needs to be done.
How interesting. I myself am also following a similar path. Striving to see what must be done myself, actually.
Then perhaps it is fate that we've met here.
As you begin to talk
Perhaps,
around. Go ahead.
perhaps so, though my particular group of people believe fate is something that one makes with thy own free will, though it does generally conflict with other people's fates. One should always try to find and nurture one's own strength to overcome such adversity, never losing sight of what makes them who they are.
As you begin to wander and ponder, looking around and feeling your water skin, you do hear a strange vibrating sound within the water. It is not something that is drawing towards you, not some strange apparition or snake that goes to bite for your throat. But you do feel a vibration in the air, but you definitely see it in the water. But we will move over to the next person in town. Talon, as you've been wandering the streets, walking about, you aren't from here. You definitely don't reside with these same individuals. While these people are, well, they're useful, they aren't exactly your kind of people. You do know what your family holds, and you do know and seek what your family did once hold. Wandering this town, you had asked people here and there, the historians in the library and the other noblemen that you could speak with. No one provided you answers, and even still, you had even more questions. They were curious about you, but they had no idea who you were. Perhaps that works to your benefit, but without truly knowing who you or who your family is, you are still too far from where and what you are looking for. Wandering the streets, you do encounter a few people. They are keeping an eye on you, but often than not, people carrying weapons are generally looked at in the same fashion. No one is hunting you down, no one is trying to stab you in the back, at least no one apparent. As you get closer to the water well where you have to refill and shove off, you find yourself by the lake. It's a general passing, but you do encounter a strange, or at least see a strange rippling sensation within the waters as you move further in.
Okay, I'm in the water. I'm out of the water. Okay. Okay. Alright, well, I'll approach and, obviously, eye these suspects here and notice that they're probably a little different than the rest as well. And since I'm looking for something, talking to people from far away is always a good idea. So I make it a point to move up and make eye contact with, I guess I don't know his name yet, but the druid-looking fellow. Tolan, I guess I could say it. Tolan. I'm like, where are you from? Been around here long?
I am new to town, as I believe you yourself may be as well, judging from the look of you.
Oh, the dust give it away, huh?
Yeah. Little dust never hurt anyone.
Yeah, I'm okay. Just need a little water. Since it looks like you guys are doing the same. You guys staying long? What are you about?
I go wherever the signs lead me and do what I can.
The signs. Well, what do they tell you?
Well, they told me to come here, and I have now met 2 interesting people. 3 strangers meeting around a well.
Talon stops and he's I'm an elf and stuff, and I believe in all that stuff in nature. I'm like, signs said all that.
Well, the signs told me to come here, and now I've met you. I don't believe there are too many coincidences.
I see. What about you over there? What's your name?
My name is Severus. You probably haven't heard of me. I follow a similar tenet, though in a slightly different fashion, from our new acquaintance here. For me, it's more of a guidance of the path that I have chosen to follow, and a sort of oath of a sort, where I seek to, how should I say this, encourage new strength and fortitude in others that I meet, to grant them aid when others would fail them. That is what has led me here this day.
As you continue
Oh.
to... Go ahead.
You go ahead.
As you begin to continue to speak about pleasantries around town, about how you've been here, just simple talking, you all still feel that strange sensation around you. You all still see that the water around you is rippling, and definitely is strange. But we will continue on to the next traveler in town. I don't know how to pronounce that character's name.
Kyathol.
Kyathol. You've been traveling around trying to get out of the strange situation you found yourself when you entered inside this place. You ran, didn't look back, and you made sure that no one tailed you. Wandering the streets now, you do find yourself in an old, maybe, town. It is new to you, however, and the place does smell of iron, which is strange. The town did not smell like iron recently. Rather, you came here roughly 2 hours ago. It had a nice, pleasant, whimsical smell of a morning breeze, morning dew. But now you can smell iron in the air. And, well, you're not exactly sure if the people that you met are still chasing you down, or if they were even to begin with. You are lost, however, inside this place. And the only thing you do know is that you definitely need a drink of water. You need some food, and you might need to know exactly where you are at.
And how do I move my character around, or my token around? Sorry.
You should have access to the token. You just click on it and move it.
And I see. Gotcha.
Click and drag.
Gotcha.
You wander the streets and you do see people looking at you. Maybe because you're a foreigner inside of this town, or maybe they have something to do with what's going on with you and your situation. But you venture forth, and eventually you do come across 3 others that don't fit the mold of this town. And then you die. Oh,
Yeah.
back to life.
Like, what is this?
Right? Do I recognize another elf friend?
Depends. Do they have their hood up?
I do have a hood. Well, no, actually, I do not have a hood up right now.
You
Is it cold out?
see someone close to Elvin. It is basically brisk. You wouldn't need the hood unless you wanted it, but up to you.
Yeah, I do not have
Yeah.
a hood.
I was curious if I saw what you look like, but anyway, go ahead.
Good day to you, fellows. Do you mind if I take a drink?
Go ahead.
The
Definitely
water
not all
here is
water.
raw.
We're all here to share.
Although it is rippling oddly.
I
I
noticed
noticed that
that.
as well.
That is true. Now that you mention it.
Can I take a look around in my area?
Looking around your area with your past perception or with general gaze.
I would like to actually look.
Then roll perception.
First roll, first fail.
Nice.
Looking around you, you can determine that there are people around you. There are buildings, constructions, and waterways. As you gaze around, you can determine that the rippling water is not just stuck to the small watering hole you're at. In the distance, you do see the lake, and it is rippling itself. Not to the point of waves, but to the point of they are not normally this way.
Guys, the lake is rippling.
Do the townspeople near us seem concerned at all by this?
You can tell that the people do seem to be agitated, but not as much as you would be. Perhaps they are not capable of sensing it to the degree you are, but they do have uneasy faces.
I might try to flag down the nearest one and ask them if these vibrations have happened before or they know what this might be.
You flag the
And
one
point
that's
out.
right next to you.
Mhm.
And then they state, not really. This is new. I thought I was the only one feeling this, but it just feels like the pit of my stomach is vibrating. I don't know how to describe it, but no, this isn't common. Honestly, I fear a catastrophe might hit the town. I fear that sorry, wait a second. I fear that an annihilation storm is soon to come.
Does my character recognize that phrase?
It's a phrase used often and not when a certain magical storm approaches. They are often not seen or felt by people that are more magically in tune. Natural people do sometimes feel them, but it's only a bad feeling or something in the pit of their stomach if they're strong enough. Most other people just feel the breeze and just see that a storm might be approaching. Others just don't sense anything at all. With your attributes, each of you sense more than the common person. This much you know. However, you also know that whenever a catastrophe occurs within a city, a destination, or a location, more than enough or more than often, people go missing or people and the city are destroyed.
What are
Do you
we
people
supposed to
have...
do, like during a storm like that? Like, I mean, do we know like what we're supposed to do if a storm like that's coming?
You know if you are in tune with the area, the environment, and the location, you are to run immediately and as fast as possible outside of town. No one really knows what exactly is going on within the city when these storms occur. And when people see the town after the storm arises, barely anyone comes or is vocal enough to state what has happened. And even more people in town have either died from the storm or died from something else, but it's never natural.
I look towards the person he has stopped and I asked him, do you people have any evacuation sites or someone we can talk to start moving people? This is indeed a disaster that is coming. You might wish to evacuate the town.
We have the church, and that's usually the evacuation place, but this has never happened in this town. Reeve is a safe spot. I don't know why a storm would be approaching.
We don't either, but trust your gut. Evacuate the town immediately.
It can be
Do
no
we really need
coincidence
to
that we are here when
evacuate
this is happening.
because of a storm, my friend? It seems rather odd that we would run from a storm.
The storm is more dangerous than you give it credit for. Reality-altering terrors, nightmares of epic proportion, or just simply destruction of property. Everything and anything you could imagine these storms would erupt. I suggest we quickly make haste to this church and talk to the priest about starting to evacuate the town.
That is like no storm I have ever seen, but I agree. Let's just make haste.
Yeah, let's get out of here. That's crazy. It's something just saw something.
DM, did the church have a bell?
The church does have a bell. It's on the second story.
Okay. So, Tolan will suggest perhaps if we rang the bell and alarm, that would alert people that something was going on. And the noise would be quite far reaching.
We would still need to go to the church to do this task.
Yes, it is close by.
Let's make calls.
The
Lead
person
the way,
does
let's
state
go.
it might, but it might just call them to the church. I don't know. If
Oh,
you'll
we want?
excuse me, they do head out, and they do appear to be going to a certain destination, maybe back home. You're not entirely sure.
Okay.
Is the church obvious?
The church is obvious, and even if it wasn't, Tolwyn was just there.
I will go ahead and start heading toward the church.
All right. You head towards the church without issue. Thankfully enough, no one is trying to stop you. You enter inside, and there's another door stopping you. You can tell that there's a sermon going on inside currently. Tolwyn, before you left, they invited you, but you had to go all your own. It's a sermon that they have and hold each day, so even if you're here tomorrow, you're definitely not going to miss anything.
I open the door and walk in.
All right. As you open the door and walk in, you do in fact see people just sitting around, enjoying themselves, talking, and listening to the bishop. The bishop themselves continues to honor their practice and continues to speak, all the while inviting you to sit down while they speak. As you enter inside, the bishop then states, not to you, but to the congregation. As we stand and as we look around us, we must think and be thankful for those that help guide us. While we move on and move in the world we see, we also must pray homage that the children of Scarlet do not approach this town. Tyr himself protects us, honors us, and guides us. And with his blessing and yours, faith in turn, we may once again continue to live and press on as the world itself begins to crumble without their faith. They begin to chant something, not ritualistically, but as a congregation. Often than not, religious factions, groups have like a certain phrase or tone that they give after a sermon or something the like. Something similar like to Amen or I'm forgetting the other ones. Either way, they pay homage to Tyr, and then they begin to walk out. The pastor himself, the bishop himself, sorry, wrong religion. The bishop himself looks towards you guys and welcomes you to come.
Greetings, Bishop. I am Severus. We have come to make warning of a particular issue that I am certain that you yourself have started to realize. We believe that there is a catastrophe most likely coming. There's ripple in the waters, and the air is filled with energy that is rather uncomfortable, just to my belief, considering the signs that a great danger is heading here. I believe that we should send a warning to the townspeople and start an evacuation.
I'm afraid that's just not possible. We can perhaps guide them here, but an evacuation of the town would be near impossible. If you have some sort of way to teleport everyone, he jests. You assume that as a joke because he does jokingly laugh. Then I'm afraid all we can do is hope and pray. But I do not sense anything coming about.
Do I still feel that nervous energy?
You do still feel the vibration in the air. Kythal, you smell the iron begin to grow.
Does anybody else smell that? The smell in the air, the iron in the air.
No, I do not smell that, but I definitely feel these vibrations. Something is coming. Perhaps, Bishop, your god has sent us as a warning to you. Perhaps your bell could be used to gather your people here in safety in the protection of your church.
That's pretty good help. Cerberus, go ahead and roll persuasion with advantage thanks to Tolwyn. Pretty good. Well, if things are as you say they are, then perhaps safety is better than nothing. Alright. You see him point to someone that's standing in the background, and then go up the stairs. I'll have them here, and I'll speak with them to go down into the holdings. Beyond that, however, I do not know if we will survive the night, much less the rest of the day. I'm afraid if the storm is approaching, then there is nothing to be done but pray. He does look toward you, Tolwyn, because you were here just not too long ago. Perhaps the gods are, in fact, watching over us still. I know at least Tyr had watched over me and my congregation. As he had brought you to our doors, we housed, and in turn, you provided. He bows, and then continues to walk out, likely to meet up with anyone that visits.
With my unique way that I look into how my religion and power works, can I make an insight check to check this priest out?
Like if he's telling the truth, or is he lying to your faces, or if he doesn't feel, or just everything in general?
It's either a mixture of everything in general and wondering if he really does not feel that sensation. And for me, it's like my blood is running hotter and hotter and quicker. So I'm wondering, how can this guy not feel this? He is a religious man with a connection to his God. I am no different with my own connection to in a manner of speaking, higher power. Why would he not also feel this?
Roll insight. From what you can tell, he may or may not feel it. You're entirely not sure. But not everyone has gifts as yourself or everyone else. You can tell that your companions do have similar gifts. But even if Tolwyn, you know his name, Quyon, even if Quyon doesn't have the same gifts, that does not mean he isn't connected to his god in his own form. But that does not mean his god provided for him. It's perhaps possible that he is a man of faith, but no connection is there. Perhaps one of faith that helps Tyr continue to live or continue to power himself. But Tyr himself is not giving him magic. For one reason or another, you're not sure. You're going to have to ask the god themselves. Somehow, if you decide to go that route. But it does not seem that he's lying. Just that he doesn't have the same prerequisite to have the same skills or knowledge that you possess.
All right. When the people start coming in, I'd like to look at each one of them as they're walking by.
Each one of them are placid, stone cold faces or a worried and concerned viewpoint. You can tell that he's calmly speaking with each one that enters inside, trying to help keep everyone at ease. And eventually he does tell them to go and proceed to the underground shelter.
Does any of one of them look like they're injured or is in need of help?
This is still early. If a storm is approaching, then thankfully enough, nothing has happened in town yet. But that does not mean that they will still stay in one piece forever.
All right. I'd like to, since I'm aware to an extent the dangers of this storm, where are we going to be placed at?
You yourselves, if you want to vacate the storm or make sure you're protected and safe, would have to be housed within the exact same place everyone else is. If you want to peer and look around to see what the storm has to hold, you would have to stay in town while it is still bellowing out. You would either have to weather the storm, run out of town as fast as possible and hope it doesn't come along your way, go into the bunker, or see what lies in wait.
Before I go into the bunker with the rest of the people, there's one thing I'd like to do if there was time, if I can tell there's time.
You can still tell that the sensation around you is picking up, but there is still time. At this point, Talon can now smell the iron.
I would like to look for any stragglers or anyone at that village who might need help to get into the bunker. I'll at least try this once.
All right, roll perception to see if there's anyone around that isn't heading towards the bunker. While you're in town and wandering about, checking for any stragglers, you can see that there's someone straggling, but not because they don't hear the bell, not because they don't know where to go, but the very visage, the way they look and the way they move has a determination of where they're going. They don't seem to need help, but they definitely aren't going the way that they are supposed to go.
I run up to them and I ask them, do you need help getting to the cathedral?
As you round the
To
corner
church.
while trying to catch up to them, you do see that they are gone. Wherever they went or wherever they're meant to go. Asking them before you made that turn, you did note that they were there. They were definitely there the 5 seconds before it took you to round that corner. But now they're not there. It's a straight shot between where you're at now and a open in-between building. But they're not there anymore.
I whisper out to them, may the blood of Vol grant you strength to overcome your adversity in the time ahead. And I'll run back toward the church.
All right. Kaithal, what are you doing?
I am. Well, let's see. When he ran off, we're all still inside the church, or did we?
You could have branched out. It can be the exact same amount of time, or at the exact same time.
Okay. I am stepping out to the front doors of the cathedral, looking out kind of in the distance to see if I can see anything at all. The storm coming, any kind of I've never seen anything like this. So to me, this is almost fascinating as much as it is scary. So I'm just kind of looking out that door, kind of looking to see what might be coming.
All right. Go ahead and roll persuasion. Not persuasion. Perception.
Perception. I guess with 2 dice out.
Getting a general view of your surroundings and seeing what the strange storm that they keep speaking about is coming to, you can tell in the horizon that there is a strange formation of clouds. The clouds themselves are quite clear, but so are the rest of the clouds that come around you. However, these ones are strange. In the very far distance, you can determine that the lightning inside of these clouds, while the clouds are still white, there is lightning inside. As you use the max amount of perception that you can, at least at this moment in time, you can tell that some of the streaking in the storm, or at least some of the streaking in the clouds, are red.
Fellows, this is not like any other storm I have ever seen. What? What exactly are we expecting here?
Something strange indeed. Perhaps it would be best to take shelter with the rest of the town.
I think you might be right. We need to get somewhere safe. Something is coming very quickly, I believe.
And if anything should happen to these townspeople, it would be best if we are close by to assist.
I would agree. Absolutely.
They wouldn't help us if we were in trouble. But if you want to, I suppose.
Well, my aid is not dependent on whether or not someone else would aid me. We must be the change we wish to see, and the change the gods direct us to. Cannot expect it to simply befall us. Agency is ever important.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I'm just saying they might kill you instead of let you help. Well, you're kind anyway.
Well, they may find me harder to kill than I look.
As you contemplate village anarchy, Quinn comes inside and then states, "From what I've gathered, just about everyone has entered inside. I can't say if there's any stragglers. I'm afraid I don't know everyone in town. Unfortunately, not everyone visits the temple these days, but just about the number of populace is here. I don't know if what you say is true, but better to be safe than sorry. There is room enough for you and your team, or I'm not exactly sure who you are to each other, as I do know Tolwyn from last night. But whoever you are to each other..."
They're lovers, that's all I know. But don't worry about that.
He looks towards Cerberus and Kaithal.
Yeah. Don't worry about
that. Are we a team now? This is so exciting.
Well, regardless of that, questioning the team part and the lovers part, there is room for you inside the bunker.
I suppose joining up for a night or two wouldn't be such a bad idea, considering the circumstances. I'll watch you guys back.
That's appreciated. I think we can find some common ground in the urge to live.
Agreed.
It is always better to have companions by your side in times like.
All right.
Agree with that. Here, Kaithal. Alright. What are we doing? Should we shut the doors and bar them?
Quinn shows you to the location.
Or that.
Sorry. I dragged you and dropped you over there.
You dragged me?
Inside you'll find the bunker and the rest of the people. I'm afraid I cannot join you, but there you'll be the most safe in town as possible.
Why would you not be joining us?
I'm afraid I have to try and keep the church as strong and as sturdy as possible. I do not know what waits for me in the afterlife, but I must stand against a pressing storm and against any evil that stands in our way.
It's very
It'll be
noble
fun.
of you, but do you really want to do that?
It is not whether I want to or not. It is our teachings. It is our way.
You see, you see Tay like begin to smile and kind of look at you guys and be like, "Haven't you? Come on, guys. Haven't any of you wanted to dance with lightning?"
On many occasions.
Well, let's not miss it. Our cue is here.
If you do,
Can we help him? Sorry.
Okay. He was just gonna say, I would try to keep things safe, but if you do intend to help, I would not be opposed to the help, but I do not know if we will come out of this alive.
Well,
No one knows if they will come out of any day alive, really.
I suppose that's true.
Well,
To be sure,
caution to the
I'm,
wind, as they say. Let us do it. Why not?
by the gods, I think you're all as crazy as I am.
I'm only as crazy as the gods tell me to be.
I like your god. Tell me more.
Perhaps.
At another date.
Yeah.
Next to a fire and after a nice mug of mulled wine.
That sounds very nice.
But first, the dance. You see Tay start to smile and start to get excited now. Let's see what this is about.
All right. As you take some time, basically making sure that everything's set up and prepared, Tay sets up a fire. Because it does take some time. The wind, the weather does shift and change. So the fire eventually was needed. And at this point, it would be cold enough to have your hood up. If you wanted it, still. Up to you if you want to not feel the cold. We can still see that Quinn now sees the upcoming storm, and just about everyone else does see the storm as well. Looking at the red thunder, the red lightning, rather, you can tell that he does have his his palms clutched together in a almost praying manner. Not praying, but keeping watch over his flock.
I whisper one of the oaths to myself as I try to stand prepared to deal with what the consequences may bring.
I go into like a corner and cast fairy fire. Not fairy fire, I mean a minor illusion and like kind of like make myself look like a wall. It's like hiding in a corner.
All right.
I am interested to see what happens here. This does not look like any force of nature I've seen before.
You and me both, my friend. This is far beyond anything that I've ever seen, and I've seen some stuff.
Can I climb this tree here?
Yes.
Aren't you a bit of wall?
Yeah, well, I changed my mind. I'm climbing the tree and now I'm part of the tree. It's much more elfy.
More elfy, yeah.
Yeah, I was playing a gnome earlier and I was like, it's kind of like what I would do with that character. I was like, wait, I got more elfy. Yeah, there's a tree. Yeah, go to the tree.
As the storm gets closer and the clouds begin to merge with the rest, you enter into a tree. People talk, people walk, and people keep a close eye on the horizon. Tay is in a tree while the storm begins to draw closer and rain begins to drop. As the clouds and storms get closer, I want everyone to go ahead and roll dexterity saving throws. Because you were ready and because you chose this, you were more than ready and prepared. So, with advantage.
Dexterity save.
I believe I get my paladin auras now, so let me double check. Nope, not mine. It's not until 6th level.
Oh, it's muted. I was like, yeah, you don't get it till 6th level. Why aren't you listening to me?
As you begin to see the storm clouds bursting through the air, you then hear the crackling sound of thunder.
Ooh.
It bursts and immediately hits the ground around you. It is not, however, wild as the forces of nature itself. Rather, it seems to go around in directions. You then see the more or less mayor's house. You really never met the man or the woman, as you don't know who they are. But the biggest building in town gets immediately directly hit by a large red thunderous bolt. The house immediately catches in flame and continues to press forwards. Another building then collapses around where it was, and you see an end drop of another lightning bolt. The lightning bolt then completely disconnects from the earth, and you do see that building break apart. You can smell fumes, the strange aromas around you. That might have been some type of chemical home. Maybe an artificer, maybe an alchemist, or maybe a scientist working with chemicals. That is neither here or there. But you do see one other bolt going in the direction of where you now stand. Entering to where you all 5 now stay, the strange bolt goes directly into the area you're standing on. It doesn't curve straight towards the building that the church building, but rather it goes to the strange emporium of people underground. Some of you are able to dodge the thing, and some of you are able to move away. Tay, however, is not so lucky.
No.
The DC to beat was
Ouch.
13.
Ow. I tried. I blinked. It was a bad time. It was a blink.
You know, just
and then
sitting in the top of a tree during a lightning storm just seems bad.
yeah.
It does seem very bad.
So the lightning bursts in the air and immediately hits Tay
Ooh.
for 13 points of damage, but the rest of you manage to topple around.
Oh,
As this still happens, you do see Quinn move directly towards the building, bring out something from his cloak, and then pierces it into the ground itself. Standing in between the ground, you do see a massive pole, about the size of a spear, but it's all metallic, rather than a spear's edge. It hits the pole and immediately hits the ground, causing it to sink into the earth itself. You think. In actual reality, lightning goes up. That's neither here or there. But it's cooler if it hits the ground and submerges. Science class. That's all I remember. I think I failed. Anyways, the thunderstorm begins to ride and ream straight towards your direction, and you can tell more bolts are coming in your way. Thanks to Quinn, most of them will hit the ground and stay down, as he does and create, whether he knows it or not, a good dowling rod to hit the ground and keep them coming towards that direction. But the weather is strange. Why would it direct an attack rather than a simple wild storm? As you ponder this, you can tell that something else is coming towards you. Someone or some strange nature or force, as you do see clouds of smoke and perhaps dust heading in your direction. Is there anything you're doing before they round the corner?
Stay out of the tree.
I think Tolan would cast Shillelagh, his quarterstaff.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna start blade singing as they get closer, but I use absorb elements to take half of 13, so 7 damage.
Hmm?
I will
Oh,
prepare
well,
myself.
maybe 6. I love CDs.
I will prepare myself for possible combat, drawing my shield and sword.
I will cast Sanctuary onto myself.
All right. As you cast spells, draw out weapons, and overall making sure that everything else is safe around you, or that at the very least you are safe. You do see something crawling in your direction.
If I see something crawling, I'm starting the blade song immediately.
That's fair. You do see 3 of these entities just emerge.
Ew, that's gross.
They are gross.
Ew.
Picking up dirt,
Ooh.
drawing a cloud. Tay is able to cast out or at least play his song dance, while everyone else rolls for turn order.
What's up? I'm singing, man. I'm just trying to sing.
Go ahead and roll initiative.
I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly. Okay.
How do I roll initiative? Just hit the D20?
So click on your character token first.
Oh.
So click on your character token, and like you'll see a highlight, and then go over like your character sheet, and then once you pull it up at the very top, it says initiative. Then you just click on the initiative, like the words, the word. Above like your hit points, whatever it says like initiative.
Right, but my. Oh. All right. But
There you go.
yeah,
Okay. Rolling for them.
Oh wait, hold on.
2 of them did not roll well.
Isn't an initiative a dexterity acrobatics check? Or dexterity? It's a dexterity check, right?
It's a dex.
Yeah, so I have advantage on that if I'm already singing. Hey, I'll take that. This says I have advantage on. There's that advantage on dex checks.
That's not a dex check.
Okay, never mind then.
It's a dex-based thing, but it's not a dex check.
Got it.
And I think that means it's specifically acrobatics checks.
Yeah, it's right. But I am dancing, so yeah. All right, let's go. Let's do this.
All right. I don't remember your last number, so we're just gonna keep the 18.
13. Or no, it was a 13.
Okay.
Or 9.
Oh, oops! I put service at 13.
Take that.
Change that. All right. As Tay begins to sing his dance, sing his songs, and play his clarinet, I don't know what weapon you're currently using. I don't know why I chose clarinet.
It's dual clarinets, actually. It's dual wielding them.
Service, you do see, and everyone else do see, the strange hounds of just gross flesh and bone. What do you do?
I will charge forward. Do I recognize these creatures?
Not even close.
And I will smack.
Don't let them lick you.
That is it.
I will also use the Divine Smite. Well, first off, are they still alive?
As they roam straight towards you, you grab your longsword and bash straight through their flesh. While it does sink into their flesh, it does not sink so deep that it kills them outright. They are looking towards you, and they are still biting towards you.
Are they undead by any chance?
They are not.
Alright, so this is 2d8.
Are they Fey Fiend or any type of celestial?
They are considered fiend.
Oh, then
You
that's
should get an
actually-
extra D8, yeah.
So a 9 plus 6.
Cool.
And also 6 slashing.
As this transpires, you burl in a divine smite into their flesh as your synced blade does still stand. The divine smite begins to burn them from the inside out until they pop into nothing.
I point with my bloody weapon. It glows red with my holy divine righteous might. And I do the cometh ring gesture.
All right. The creatures around you then look towards you. They are coming no matter what you might have gestured. But maybe you accidentally or purposely made yourself a target. The creature in hound goes directly towards you. You can tell that their face is drawn more like a human, but with strange variations. The mouth itself does resemble a human's mouth, but the tongue itself wiggles and worms, and with spikes all around it. It is definitely not something you've seen before.
Ew.
No mother would love that face.
Does 22 hit?
Yes, it does.
As a strange whipping mouth comes towards you, you can tell that the almost strange legs go directly towards you in a sweeping motion. The two jointed leg goes directly towards your chest and slashes straight through, dealing 7 points of damage. Tolwyn.
I grin mockingly.
I am going to move. Let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet to here. And are we using flanking in this game?
In this one, no.
Okay. So I will attack with my shillelagh quarterstaff. The normal roll.
Get him with that shillelagh boy.
And do not roll very well.
With your shillelagh in hand, you go to try to bash their leg. However, as you go and swing in, the leg itself turns and breaks upon itself, you imagine. But rather, you then look, and it has that joint in a strange angle, causing you to miss and ponder what on earth created these things. Anything else?
Okay then. Don't think that there's much I can do. Does Talon, do you look hurt, or are you looking okay still?
I mean, I'm pretty fragile. I don't know, but I'll be okay. I think I'm pretty good at not getting hit. Usually, unless it's like obviously saves and stuff. But
Right. Okay.
should be okay.
All right. I'll just keep an eye on you then.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. I think I'm done.
All right,
They're like coughing lightning. I'm fine.
Talon.
Well, I'm gonna just start, singing and dancing over this way. And the one that's, I guess they're surrounding. Yeah. I guess I'll just all attack down. Why not? It's all team up fun. I'm gonna use my familiar to, if I still can. Actually, I don't know how crazy. Is there still a crazy storm going on?
There is still a storm raging. Not to the point where
Okay.
you aren't able to fly in it if you have a familiar that can fly.
Yeah. I was just saying, like, if it can't fly, like, okay, but I kind of didn't
It's
ask.
good. It's still good. The
Okay.
storm just hit the town, so you're still fine for now.
He's shakily flying by, like, caw, and the thing's, like, gonna try and look at it as I attack it. But I'm going to attack it with my scimitar. Advantage. It doesn't really help much. Alright, and with my offhand attack, I will try again, but without advantage. Does a 14 hit?
A 14 just barely hits.
Okay, it doesn't. It's actually. Oh, it only does 1 damage, so I don't get to add my modifier. So that's not 4, it's just 1 damage.
Bashing into the creature, you do manage to sustain some damage. The first swing did miss, but the second scimitar does strike true. However, the strange bike-hitting ridge of its body does block most of the attack, but it still does something. Unfortunately enough, though, the closer you look at these things, the more you want to get further away.
I like everyone, like, I think I almost killed it. A few more blows.
Kaito.
If you're talking, you might be muted. Kaito.
What? Oh, I haven't talked. Is it my
Oh.
turn? I didn't hear.
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you say it. I was looking at.
it's all good.
I apologize.
It just happened.
I am going to move to right here. I'm going to. If I'm aiming at, like at the one of the monsters, I click on the monster, the token of it.
Looks like a
Yes.
thing.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to. Do I just click on? I'm sorry, I'm asking so many questions. Do I just click on the weapon to roll attack for it?
Mm-hmm. As long
Or
as
do
it's
I-
inputted in
okay.
correctly, it should work that way.
Okay, let's hope it's inputted incorrectly. I'm going to attempt to fire my hand crossbow at him.
Hey.
That does
Did
hit.
that work? Holy shit. Okay. And I hit the damage part, right? So
You hit
put
the- You hit the
Oh.
word that says repeat hand X bow in the chat. So you see where you got the two numbers, the 20 and the 19?
Yes. I
You
see
click on the name.
right there.
Yes.
There you go.
Forget that 7. Whatever that.
Yeah, I'm ignoring that.
The double
good.
natural ones, yeah.
Okay.
Slashing in and
so-
butchering into the creature, you can tell it is sustained a good amount of damage. While the bisected area of its body does sink in, you can tell that it is pissed off. You can tell that it is bloodied, but you can also tell that, thankfully enough, it's closer to death than you are.
That is a good thing. I will take my offhand shot at it.
18 does it?
Okay, and it does not have modifiers, or it shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
With your quick action hand crossbow, you do sink in more into its flesh. While it is not dead, it likely does have a target for what is about to happen next. Any further movement?
I'm going to, if this is a tombstone right there, I think I'll just kind of take a step back and possibly use it for cover if I can.
All right.
And that would be the end of it.
As the creature looks towards you, it does not have a long-range attack, so it will have to come at you. So while the cover thing was a good idea, unfortunately to a mindless creature that just has its biting face and its weird claw appendages, maybe not so much. But this does give Tay an attack of opportunity.
Doesn't work.
It does not work. As you slash through the air, much like to the chagrin of Tolwyn, its body basically bends and contorts before your blade can sink in. It is gross to look at.
Yeah, I definitely didn't suck there.
The creature does manage to get
Sorry,
next to
buddy.
Kaithal, and it does begin to rear its mouth and the strange spiked tongue. There's no way
I think it loves you. Look out.
rephrase that. With the strange mouth and the biting tongue, it swings towards you and does an 18 hit.
An 18 does hit, but I can. Do we? Is it still within a minute of when this whole thing started? When I cast Sanctuary on myself?
Yes.
Disadvantage.
So then he has to.
Oh no, but you attacked.
All right.
You attacked, so it went on. It turned off. If you read the last sentence.
Warded creature makes an attack. Okay.
Oh,
You're right. Okay. So there you go.
so close.
Yeah.
Let's find out if it would have missed.
It does hit me.
It would have missed.
Dang.
The strange whip-like tongue hits your abdomen. It does sink into your flesh and does sink into your clothing. It rips a good amount apart, and it does do 8 points of damage. Whatever these things are, they are certainly gross, and they are definitely made to rip and sunder. Cerberus.
Come on, dude.
Oh, before I forget, because I think I did forget. Oh wait, that one's already dead. Never mind. Continue.
Come on.
My turn?
Yes.
Let me give a look at the creature. How close to death is it?
The one next to you is closer to death than the one next to Kaithal. But it's still raring to go.
I almost killed it.
And this?
We are
Swinging
not
into
doing
it,
too good,
you do
guys.
sink your blade into the dirt as this thing's form just grosses you out. Unfortunately missing.
We are not doing too good here.
Any movement or bonus action?
No,
What about your channel divinity?
can't work in this case. That's not the kind of ability I have. It's for someone else.
Okay.
The hound looks at the individuals around it, and it will target the thing that it considers most weak. In this case, unfortunately, it is Tay, only because he's the most hurt.
Shit. I was like, not me. Don't look at me.
With a strange whip-like tongue, it then goes for you as well.
I like tongue, but not from Purple Freaks. Yeah.
But as it begins to move towards you, you duck immediately, and the tongue immediately misses. Thankfully. Tolwyn.
Dude.
Okay, first I'm going to try and smack it again. With a 13 to hit.
A 13 just barely meets its AC.
Yay! 7 bludgeoning damage.
As you pierce into its flesh with your quarterstaff, you can tell that it's close to death's door. Not quite there, but another attack like that will take it down.
Okay. And as a bonus action, I'm going to, because Kaithal's all alone over there, I'm going to toss a healing word at Kaithal.
Alright.
For 5 healing. Minimum healing, but, it's still 5 health.
5 more than I had a second ago. Okay.
Yep. And Tolwyn will stand his ground.
Tay.
All right. Well, I will try that again. Well, he's almost dead.
He's
The
closer
guy
to
there.
death. A good swing will take him out.
Hmm. Oh, I'm dead. Swing him. Maybe. Yeah.
16 does hit.
Is he dead now?
As you begin to pierce inside of its flesh and bone, you do sink your scimitar in. As you turn and bring out your blade back out, you can tell that it's close to death's door. At 1 point shy of it, however.
Why won't you die? Try again. At least gonna do one. Ah, god damn it. See what I Oh, the first one had advantage though. By the way, the second one doesn't.
Okay,
So
16 still
doesn't
hit.
work.
10 does
Yeah.
not. You try to
No.
swing again, but it moves out of the way. Any movement or bonus?
No, I'm not gonna move away because I don't want to eat me.
Okay, Kaithon.
All right. Since this thing is right next to me and I do not have my crossbow expert yet, I'm going to drop the crossbow from my hand and pull the rapier from my side and attack him with that. I'm guessing a 10 does not.
A 10 does not hit. As you bring out your rapier, dropping your crossbow, you then swing straight towards the creature. The rapier sinks straight towards its abdomen and does sink true. However, you sense no muscle cartilage around there. You do sense that there's a shell there, but no bone or mass. You bring it back out from its flesh, and you see no blood protruding. These things are weird. These things are gross. They are definitely for sure not normally this way.
All
Anything
right.
else?
I do not think so, truly. No, I think that's it. I'm going to just kind of stand ready for whatever it's about to do.
Standing into its two hind legs, it then begins to try to bash them straight into you. Much like a praying mantis, they do immediately just dive into your flesh. But I'm assuming a 19 hits.
Yes,
But thankfully you're nimble, you're quick, and you're fast. But this thing immediately springs forwards like a praying mantis once more. The legs immediately kick out to an extended form that normal creatures would not have such reach or such speed. They deal 7 points of bludgeoning damage straight towards you. And, well, thankfully enough you were healed, but you're definitely going to need some more healing. Cerberus.
Frustrated. I can feel my blood coiling, telling me to strike down this creature. Abomination of life. Insult. The inner divinity burns within me, building more and more every time I strike down a heretic. I'm gonna pop you like a soap bubble. He growls with it. Worse. Come on.
I was about to say, oh man, I really hope you hit, or else it's going to be so awkward.
It looks like you don't pop many soap bubbles. I thought I smelled something.
Slashing straight through the air, the creature then looks towards you and, without moving its head, moves its entire form to the extent of it would break its bones. You sink into the ground rather than sink into the creature's flesh. It still looks at you, and it does then do a complete 180 turn head movement, which should have killed it, but did not, and it still continues to look at you in that strange, broken-bodied form. Any movement or bonus action?
I have my turn.
In that regard, it then lunges towards you. As you are the first thing it considers attacking it. No, these things are mindless. It would probably have gone for Tolwyn, but I already described what happened. I'm going to stick with my description. Does 15 hit?
Mess.
the strange way it's moving its head right now, then lunges straight forwards in a direction where it would bite into your flesh and bone. However, you're quick enough to dodge it. The rest of you do see that its head is now extended far beyond its normal neck range. Maybe people don't go out inside these storms for a reason. Tolwyn.
Yeah, this thing's gross. I'm gonna hit it, or I'm gonna try. With a 21 to hit.
21 does hit. How would you like it to take it down? It only had 1 health left.
I would like to crack right onto its grossly extended neck.
Bashing into its neck, you then hear a snap. Thankfully, these things are still able to die, regardless of their strange creation or whatever happened to them. It hits the ground, and thankfully enough, it does not get back up.
Alright. And then I'm going to move to here and cast another healing word at Kyathol. Healing word, first level. 7 healing that time.
Cool. That's what he took from
Well, you got it back.
Tay.
Right. Well, do I see any more of these monsters coming by any chance, by the way?
Not in the direction where they came from and not around you. You can go ahead and roll past perception to see if there's anything coming out other than these things.
Okay.
From what you can tell, these are the only things that went your direction. You did see other clouds going different directions, but this is the only thing that came towards yours, and there's no continuing clouds moving to you. So either they think this is enough, or this is a wild storm with no thoughts to it, but you can already tell that is not true. But thankfully, there is no enemies coming towards you. At least not yet.
Okay. I'm gonna hop, skip. I'm gonna backflip over this, like swinging both my blades and like come down, like in a spinning like arc, and try and stab him on the way down. Keyword try.
All right.
Hey.
14 does hit.
Yeah. Hey. Choo. First one does 9. Ooh, nice. And the second one only does 3.
How would you like to take it down?
Nice. Well, I'm gonna be running up behind him, like it's like trying to eat Kaiathal. I'm like, Kaiathal, I'm coming. Like, and like I run, like I said, I jump, like put my foot on like the tombstone, kind of like spinning around, like almost like a blender, and like I just cut its like head off, like wherever it comes flying off as I spin real fast and then land on like my feet. Like, now that was a fun dance.
As you jump into the air and spin and dance, twirling like a tornado in a storm, slashing its head off and giving you a quick whip, it does hit the ground without another motion. It does lie there dead and motionless. Kaiathal, thankfully enough, because this thing was likely going to go for your neck next.
That's what I think. That was rather impressive, so thank you.
Well, I think we all did a good job working together, and it looked like it hurt. I just got hit by lightning. That hurt too, but those things' tongues look dirty and nasty and filthy. I cast prestidigitation on him, like clean him up like you.
I look up into the sky and look around us. Does the storm still brewing?
The storm is still brewing, but it is slowing down. Not depicted. Quinn does come over and then states, "Are you all right?"
I am fine. Does anyone need some healing?
Yes, I
I'll take
believe I
some.
can take care of most of your wounds. He then pulls out what appears to be medical supplies.
I believe Keathol over there needs some aid.
Those lightning strikes seemed directed. They were definitely not random.
They're also red. I don't recall lightning being.
Kaithal, you heal 8 as he bandages you up. Like,
Okay.
literally
Thank you.
bandages you up. He uses no magic.
You mind sparing a few bandages for my burns?
I do believe I have enough for 2. Oh, I rolled better for you. You gain 10.
Yeah. I'm full again.
Tolan, do you see anything that I cannot see? Anything perhaps your own nature might reveal to you that mine has not?
Tolan will peer into the storm uh, and look for any signs of what might be causing this unnatural sort of event.
Perception check. Advantage.
Perception, advantage, 13.
Looking at the eye of the storm and wondering about how long it'll take, you can tell that the storm is still entering into town. However, you can tell that the part of the storm that entered into your town is breaking apart from the main storm system. And that storm system is hanging a far right, continuing on into a different path. This might have just been a freak accident, or maybe something else is going on. But you do know that the storm won't last another 10 minutes at best. You can tell, however, that the strange red lightning is almost more or less converged in an area, but the area is too clouded, too covered to really interpret where that area is. It's in the main storm force, so unless you follow the clouds, you won't really understand what exactly is going on there. But you can tell that this small storm is and was enough to cause a massive panic. And thankfully enough, if nothing else happens, you'll only have 10 more minutes of this storm to deal with.
So I'll convey that to the group.
Cerberus, as you sense any divination around you, you can tell that there are undead moving towards the storm, as far away as 60 feet from you. They aren't coming towards you, rather they're following the direction that the main storm is taking. It seems whatever those other clouds came from or went to, they had finished their job.
Whisper to the group that there is a group of undead following along the storm's direction.
This does not seem like some strange natural phenomenon or even some random magical thing. This is directed and kills and recruits undead.
Kaithal
This
and Tay, you begin to smell the iron less and less.
I believe this may be passing. You said we only had a couple more minutes. I believe you're right.
It does seem to be dissipating. But again, this was only a piece broken off of a far greater storm. We're lucky the main bulk did not come this way. I don't think we would have survived it.
I don't think so either.
I am glad we were here to assist as we could. Who knows what would have happened if these creatures had been able to reach those sheltered below.
It would have been bad no matter what. So it is a good thing, and I appreciate that I've met all three of you. Well, four of you, Father. I apologize.
It's quite all right. I'm just glad you all managed to survive, and I do thank you all for helping me and assisting me. Rather, I do not know if I'd still be here if you were not here. I was able to protect the building that my people reside in, but that is likely as far as I would have gotten.
Yes, that was quick thinking with the metal rod. That seemed to work quite well.
It's something of an invention. One of my friends from a far town, I believe it's called... he then thinks about it for a second and then remembers. I believe the town was called Oh, I need to change that name because it's a different town and a different campaign. Panlus. There's a friend there that well, he often visits me. He does have his own gadgets in his own ways, so he did mention that this could perhaps deal with some lightning that comes our ways when the rainy season starts. I didn't think much of it. He did say it could compact on its own, but I kept on to it as he did advise me to keep on to it for some reason or another. It's a good thing I did, or I don't know if my people would still stand here today.
Fortuitous indeed.
But that's Esther for you. I don't know the man that well, but it seems like he can read the very nature of the world itself. Or maybe he's just lucky. The S is lowercase. But
And you say Pondus is close to here, is that correct?
it's rather not that far. It's thankfully not going in the direction that the storm's going. It's heading towards the north. It's a 3-day travel on horse, 5 days on foot. I can't offer you any horses, but as a thank you, he then goes around and hands each of you 30 gold. It's not much, and it is for the church, but looks at the building. You did save it, so in a way, this is for the church.
I will gladly take this and use it to further my travels. I very much appreciate this, Father.
I should thank you. I don't know if we are the only ones that survived the storm, or at least a fraction of the storm, but we thankfully enough did. But if I can ask this, do you mind taking away those cadavers over there, pointing to the strange dead creatures? I'd rather not have them tainting the ground.
Yes, perhaps it would be best to move them away and burn them.
I will agree with you there. I will help you, sir. It hurts me. I would rather burn it.
I will aid in this task. When we get back to him, I'd like to check the flock and see if there's anyone in need of healing.
Thankfully enough, you decided to stay on top and help Quinn out. The thunder would have likely damaged a lot of people, but thankfully enough, you stopped the creatures that might have hurt them after the damage of the thunder. Lightning, sorry. Forgetting my weather. I think I did fail that science class. But thankfully enough, there's just some small minor scrapes and bruises due to the panic. You are able to heal them if you want to, but no real magic needs to be applied.
Alright then. I will, after that, I'd like to approach the father and tell him, regardless of what has happened and what will happen in the future, you have done well to stand against this trial. You should hold your head proud, hold pride in overcoming this trial of adversity. And know that you have done well for yourself and for your people. Good job, Father. How do you pronounce his name?
Quion.
Father Quion.
I suppose that is true. If I may be so bold, I would like to ask you for help. Not for me and my flock, but rather we need to stop all this, still pointing to the storm that's close to a crawl. There is, back in Pomeless, Esther can help you and help guide things, but there is a weather facility there that is currently trying to solve these matters. You were, if I had to wager, one of the few people that managed to survive even a fraction of this storm. I do not travel a lot, but I am sure that there's not that many. If you could perhaps help them, it would be most appreciated, not by me, but more than likely by the world itself. I do not know if you'd save the world, but you definitely save some people.
I will.
Say it's no coincidence we're here then, and have found you and experienced this thing. This seems like a fairly straightforward sign about where we should head, or at least I should head next. I'd be
Does
happy
appear.
for the company if you would all go, if you are all planning on going along.
I would be more than happy to accompany my friend. It would be my pleasure. And it would be quite an adventure, I believe.
Very much so.
I'm not so sure. I'm trying to find something very important to me and worried you guys might distract me. But
It does appear.
also don't really care about saving the world. But I suppose I'll stay with you guys for now. This has been interesting, and I do love the dance. I feel like I'll find more with you.
Whatever you're looking for is in this world that seems to need some help. So
It's true.
It does
Well.
appear that we were brought here together by more than just chance. I will also put my efforts to aid this endeavor.
Yeah, we were brought here by bad fucking luck.
While Quyon doesn't curse, he does nod in agreement to Tay. And then he states, and perhaps,
Padre gets it.
and perhaps some luck. At least for me. And he begins to chuckle.
Oh.
So, what the destination...
No
Go
harm
ahead.
intended there, Father.
None taken. So what the destination more or less gestured a town and a person to help, or at least help you. One thing certainly is certain. The weather! Well, the weather isn't the only thing that you need to worry about in this world. There's definitely more things than that as we end the session for today.